From the bustling streets of Wall Street to the enigmatic corridors of the Kremlin, the global financial landscape quivers, and governments worldwide find themselves reassessing their tactics. The burning question that has ignited discussions in every corner of the globe. How did China manage to defy all expectations and reshape the delicate balance of world power? Today, we stand on the precipice of witnessing an unprecedented, game-changing maneuver that has set the world abuzz. In a stunning turn of events, China swoops in to liberate Russia from the stranglehold of Western sanctions, sending shockwaves rippling across continents. Yet this is no ordinary tale of diplomacy. It's an epic saga of cunning strategy, meticulous calculations, and a power play of monumental proportions. Get ready to witness a remarkable geopolitical move as we begin this journey, one that has reshaped the game's rules. Let's start now. In Russia, you'll notice a surprising sight: numerous unused shipping containers from China. Why are they here? It's simple. Russia and China have increased their trade significantly, leading to a surplus of Chinese containers in Russia. This caught the attention of Container Exchange, which discovered that Russia has around 150,000 more containers than it requires. What comes next? People in Russia are grappling with the challenge of what to do with the surplus containers. Their plan is to send these containers back to China, where they originated. However, this task is more complex than it appears. The primary problem lies in the fact that Russia imports a significant number of goods from China but doesn't export nearly as much in return. Consequently, a substantial quantity of containers is left unused in Russia, awaiting a solution. Christian Roloffs, who heads Container Exchange, shed more light on the issue. He explained that there is a surplus of unused containers in Russia, and when there's an excess of something, its value tends to decrease. This is precisely what has occurred with these containers. Their prices in Russia have significantly dropped due to their underutilization. The root cause of this situation is closely tied to the events in Ukraine. The Ukraine situation has played a pivotal role in reshaping various global trade relationships and has had a profound impact on the dynamics of shipping containers between Russia and China. As a reaction to Russia's actions in Ukraine, numerous Western nations, led by the US, opted to impose sanctions on Russia. Sanctions are essentially economic measures that can include withholding specific goods, restricting purchases, or even limiting financial transactions with a country. These sanctions had a significant impact on Russia's economy. Many Western companies reevaluated their involvement in Russia, leading to some scaling back or completely withdrawing from the market. This created an opportunity for others to step in and fill the gap in the market. China saw an opportunity and acted. As trade with Western countries decreased, Russia started exploring other options, particularly in the East. This shift is one of the reasons why there are more Chinese containers in Russia now. Essentially, the situation in Ukraine played a major role in redirecting Russia's trade interests. It shows how global political events can have a domino effect on international trade. The current situation with shipping containers is a real example of these bigger changes happening in the world of trade. Speaking globally, China made it clear that they preferred not to take sides and hoped for a peaceful resolution. They believed that the way Western countries were responding to Russia was confrontational and not ideal. To illustrate, imagine China as a big, energy-hungry machine and Russia as the main supplier, providing a lot of energy. In return, China sends various everyday items like gadgets, clothes, and toys to Russia. It's almost like a child swapping toys for candy. This trade has strengthened their relationship, making them close friends rather than just neighbors. To clarify, let's look at some significant figures. Between January and August 2023, China and Russia traded goods worth an astonishing $155 billion, which is an enormous amount. If we break it down further, China exported items to Russia valued at around $71.8 billion, a substantial increase compared to previous exchanges, representing a 63.2% increase. However, China wasn't just a seller, they were also significant buyers, purchasing goods worth $83.3 billion from Russia during this period. Here's an intriguing development. Russia is brimming with optimism and crossing their fingers. They firmly believe that if this business momentum continues, By the time they ring in the new year, their trade with China could reach an astonishing $200 billion. Even the leaders of these nations, namely Mr. Putin of Russia and Mr. Xi Jinping of China, were pleasantly surprised by these soaring trade figures, which exceeded their initial expectations when they first ventured into business together. Regarding trade challenges, it's important to mention that when China purchases certain items from Russia, such as raw materials, they typically use trains for transportation instead of large containers. However, when China exports goods to Russia, like cars and gadgets, they often use containers. Additionally, when several international companies chose to discontinue their dealings with Russia due to its actions in Ukraine, China saw an opportunity and started sending more products to Russia. Now, when it comes to oil, China has been a major buyer from Russia. To put it in perspective, in July, for every 5 barrels of oil China purchased, one of them originated from Russia. What's more, during that same month, a staggering 80% of all the oil sold by Russia was purchased by just 2 countries, China and India. However, the surplus of shipping containers in Russia isn't solely due to the goods being traded. There are additional challenges at play. Russia's ports and roads are congested, causing goods to move slower than desired. Although efforts have been made to address this issue, hurdles persist. A significant hurdle revolves around finances, securing sufficient funding and making strategic decisions on its allocation. Container Exchange, the company that identified the surplus containers, emphasized a crucial point. To expand trade with Asian countries, Russia must substantially improve its ports, roadways, and other infrastructure. As we contemplate the changing trade dynamics between Russia and China, it's important to consider the direction this relationship might take in the upcoming years. Currently, Russia and China are engaged in substantial trade. Events like the Ukraine conflict have strained Russia's trade relations with the West, pushing them to increase trade with China. The future of the Russia-China trade relationship is uncertain, but for now, they are mutually beneficial partners. Russia possesses valuable natural resources that China requires, while China manufactures products that Russia is eager to purchase, strengthening their economic ties. Relying solely on one trading partner can be challenging, like having only one friend. If conflicts arise, you may find yourself isolated. Therefore, in the future, Russia and China might consider expanding their trade relationships to other countries. The world is constantly evolving, with new leaders and significant events that can alter countries' perceptions of each other. Russia may decide to rekindle trade with Western nations, and China might seek more collaborations with other countries as well. Flexibility and diversification could be beneficial in this ever-changing global landscape. There are some challenges in Russia, particularly with their roads and ports, which are not in the best condition. This makes it difficult to transport goods quickly and efficiently. Additionally, the mismatch between the types of items being traded is a reason why many Chinese containers are sitting idle in Russia. To sum it up, Russia and China have a strong business relationship now, but the future is unpredictable. We'll have to wait and see what unfolds in their trade story. In a changing global landscape, China's recent actions have caught the Western world off guard. The deepening partnership between Russia and China is transforming global trade dynamics and posing a challenge to existing power balances. This situation illustrates the dynamic and constantly evolving nature of global politics and trade. How do you think this development will impact the global tech industry? Could it potentially lead to new innovations and collaborations? Moreover, how might the Western countries respond to these changes in the tech sector? Please share your thoughts in the comments below.